oh yeah, we are. Let me just share this in my other group. Hold on one second. I am I'm super excited about this topic because this has been annoying me. I mean, seriously annoying me all year, and so I want to be able to talk about it. There we go. All right. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time, I will be doing this live. My goal is to do this live once a week, every Wednesday, and just talk about different topics that I think is important, some things that are important to me. But today's topic is, I think, one of the most annoying things that I have been thinking about all year. And it's not only been annoying to me, but I feel like I just cannot shake it. And I'm starting 2026 by saying it out loud. And I may not stop saying it, actually. This isn't a rant. It's not political even, but it is about preparedness, awareness, and responsibility. And what bothered me wasn't just what happened, it was how quiet everyone was about it. And we all felt it, but only very few people named it. And one of the things that about this year, or 2025, that there's a lot of wonderful things that happened. A lot of you know that I relocated to Bangkok, Thailand, part of the year, and we are traveling, my husband and I. But there's a lot of wonderful things happened. But in 2020, it kind of reminded me a little bit about what happened then, and affected all of us, and I think it continues to affect us. So to explain why it bothered me so much, I really need to give you some context. So the first problem is 2025 exposed how fragile the job security really is. The official unemployment numbers stayed relatively flat. And if I can, I'll try to pull it up in a few minutes. Let me see if I'm able to. Yeah, here's, there were a lot of people that lost jobs in 2025, and it stayed a little bit flat. Let me see if I'm able to share this screen. And time, what is it? Let me see. Is this it? Yeah, here. This is actually from the Wall Street Journal, just their Instagram page. But it shows you that, there's quite a bit of layoffs, full-scale layoffs. Many did trim headcount, they said. A number of Americans who are unemployed rose from 700,000 to 7.8 million, quite a bit. It added a lot of extra unemployment numbers. And if you look at it by race or by age, you can see Black and brown people were affected even more, as you would imagine, than most. And so that's one of the things that I thought about. But it doesn't mean that people weren't losing jobs because they were retiring or whatever. But it really means that people were exiting quietly. Layoffs, restructures, contracts ended, government funding. And the one that really struck me the worst was that Black women were hit disproportionately hard, highly educated, experienced, dependable, and still were expendable. I believe the numbers were up to 450,000, but I know the number is higher because I have met people that have had government contracts just canceled. $50 million contracts were just canceled. Funding for healthcare, hospitals, medical treatment for people who don't have medical ways to pay their medical, canceled. Just unbelievable amount of change that happened. And this wasn't random. This wasn't a mistake. What this is a system doing exactly what it is designed to do. And the real issue isn't unemployment. The real issue is dependence on a system that doesn't protect us. And I I am amazed that we not many more people talked about this. It took me back to a moment in my childhood that I've never forgotten. And so I'm going to tell you just a little story about when I was growing up in Cincinnati. We lived in a mixed working class suburb. Everyone worked at the same factories. They worked at GM, GE, and P&G. Same income levels, same lifestyle, no visible division. Obviously, this was the 80s. And back then, my parents, their business was growing. And so we moved from the neighborhood that I grew up in to a new city. Now, by the time that they moved, I was about ready to leave the house anyway. I was actually into my senior year. It was a new neighborhood, but it was a big, beautiful home on a cul-de-sac. And we didn't know at the time that that little city was very segregated. And when they bought their house, they moved into the quote unquote white side of town. But the neighborhood let us know very quickly. We had a dead bird on our front door. We had a dead bird in our back patio. Everyone outside was watching us move in. I remember my parents stayed very calm. They were used to navigate different environments. My dad told me, don't walk around the neighborhood until they get used to you. That phrase stuck with me. I was thinking, get used to you. What does that even mean? I'm a person. We can afford this house. We can live here. Why does anyone need to get used to me? And it's still like, it's almost like he said it yesterday. Get used to you. Let people get used to you. So I realized that after hearing that message, my entire life, I mean, in schools, in corporate spaces, in entrepreneurship, in rooms where I was qualified, but I still had to prove myself. Once they get used to you, once they see your value, once you've been here long enough, 2025 showed us something very clearly. I think even more than 2020 did, which was similar because a lot of women left their jobs to take care of their families. They had to make difficult decisions in 2020. But 2025 showed us something very clearly. Many women were still waiting to be seen, waiting to be protected, waiting to be valued, and the system didn't wait with them. And that's why what happened in 2025 was so personal to me because I never trusted corporate America to save me. I never did. I mean, early on, the good thing that I had was my parents. I could watch them build a business. I could watch them do things on their own as Black people, make six figures without anybody telling them they could not. I trusted entrepreneurship more than corporate America. So even though I got educated and I went into corporate, I just never felt safe. Okay, because not because it was easy or not as easy as entrepreneurship is hard. Just be honest about that. Okay, you eat what you kill. Your own effort is how you live. You control your future. And I always knew that layoffs were possible, but I didn't know how many women would be affected at once. I didn't know how quiet it would be. I didn't know how many would be told to figure it out. And right now, I just happen to have I work mostly with women. And so I'm talking to women that thought they had it figured out. They went to college, they got PhDs, they became healthcare providers, they got good, safe jobs, they did everything they were supposed to do. This wasn't just about jobs, this was about stability. That means the stability of families, the stability of futures. So the question what becomes is, what do we do? What do we do now? I was talking to one of my clients who said, I have always done the safe thing, but what do we do now? Okay. So this is where, we need to really turn the mirror inward on ourselves and think, where have we been waiting for someone to get used to us? Where have we been waiting? Oh, I just need to get my degree. Then they'll see my value. I just need to, get to this level and then they'll see my value. Where have you been hoping someone would choose you? What would happen if your job disappeared tomorrow? Would you panic? Would you pivot? Would you know what to do? This isn't about fear. It's about readiness. And what 2025 did for me is reminded me why I became who I am, why I do what I do, and why I just never trusted a system that did not see me and had no intentions of it. Okay. So now we gotta figure out our solution. What are we going to do going forward? A lot of the women that are in my community are in vulnerable situations. When I started, I thought I was really talking to women that were in their 30s, 40s, because I'm thinking, okay, you need to get a job, you need to get business so that you can take care of your children. But really, I'm talking more than anything to women over 50 that are really vulnerable, that, you have had your job for a long time, and now if you lose your job, there's not a promise that you're going to get another job. So what do you do? Okay, so let's talk about the solution. Here's 3 solutions that I came up with. Number 1, get educated. It's important to be educated. It's important to still get your PhDs and your doctorate degrees and all the things. Education does matter, but not in the old way. Degrees alone are no longer protection. Education must lead to leverage. Use those degrees for leverage, skills that solve problems, knowledge that creates options. If you already have education, ask yourself now, how can I monetize this independently? Because at some point, it doesn't even matter, really. Can I monetize this with consulting? Can I coach? Can I teach? Can I create something? Can I educate others? Education should be about mobility, not dependency. So my second solution is start a business on the side way before you need to, okay? A side business is not a hobby. This is exactly what I was doing when I was working in corporate. If you know me, and everybody used to always say, I'm going to grab something from my throat. But if you know anything about me, you know that I've always done more than one thing at one time. I've never had just a job. I've always had something on the side. And really, it was because of this. It's insurance. It's leverage. It's preparation. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow. You don't. You need to build something before you need it, right? Before you need it. Start small. Learn while you earn. That's really what this first book that I wrote was about. That's what this was. It was called a side hustle book, but really what I was teaching was this solution number 2. Start a business on the side and learn while you earn. Like if you have a job to back you up, make the mistakes while the stakes are low. Okay, so the goal isn't hustle like I was talking about right here. This was more referring to the hustle. So the goal is not to hustle, the goal is options, and that's what we always need is options. Okay, so then solution number three, and this is, I think, by far the biggest thing. You have to work on your confidence. Okay, confidence is not personality. Confidence is not loudness. Confidence is knowing you can survive change. I think the biggest thing I have going for me is confidence to come out. And I think the confidence for me came from watching someone else in front of me do it. So I have become that thing for people. I am out here to give you confidence. If I can do it, then you can do it. Okay. Confidence affects your net negotiation, decision making, risk tolerance, your boundaries. It's confidence. And I see where I'm talking to women that have so many amazing accolades behind their name. They're so amazing that I can't even believe that they don't see that they could do anything they want. But confidence comes from action. It comes after you do it. Okay, so you have to jump in there first before you get confidence, and then the evidence gives you confidence, not before. Every step you take builds your confidence so that you can finally go, oh my goodness, I'm doing this. This is happening. Okay. 2025 was not a fluke. Okay. It was a signal. And I think we got the first signal. If you weren't paying attention, we got the first signal in 2025. I'm sorry, in 2020. The world is changing fast. Okay. Stability is no longer guaranteed. Adaptability is. I remember my coach saying this during 2020 that one of the biggest skills that you have to have as a business owner is adaptability. But I think that's as a person. Women need to prepare now. Okay, you have to prepare. If you have a job, then you need to start your business and have it on the side because you never know. And if you lose your job, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Okay, so this will make you be able to stand on solid ground. Okay, so and this is not about fear. This is about ownership. Okay, it's about you owning your own destination and what your life looks like. The most annoying thing about 2025 wasn't just the layoffs. It wasn't the layoffs. It was a reminder that waiting is dangerous. Waiting to be chosen, waiting to be protected, waiting to be accepted, waiting for somebody to get used to you. It just isn't going to happen. It just isn't. Build a life that doesn't require permission. The future belongs to the prepared. And this is what Women Who Boss Up is all about. You need to boss up, okay? You need to get yourself aligned so that you can live your life the way you want. The future belongs to the prepared. So I'm so excited about this conversation, and I hope this has helped you. I would love to hear some things from you that you got from this conversation that you want to bring up. I'm going to put a cough drop in my mouth from this, but I want to hear your thoughts. What has struck you about this conversation? What have you seen? I mean, I can, and I tell you what's interesting is that every time I talk about this topic, it bothers me. I probably won't just talk about this one time. I'll probably be talking about this quite a bit this year because it has affected me so much recently that I realize exactly why I do what I do. And it really is to help women to be able to navigate these kinds of things. So put into the chat if you have a question, if you want to bring up a topic, if you want to give your own experience, if you want to see what this, or say what this means to you, go ahead and put that into the chat. I would love to hear from you. Love to hear your take on it as well, because this is, I think, affecting all of us. I think a lot of us um, are quietly thinking about, what am I going to do next? And I think that's what we're here for. That's what this community is all about, to give us some ideas and to help us to grow. So if you have any questions, definitely put it into the comments below. Otherwise, I thank you so much for coming. Next week, we're going to be talking about a new topic. I'm going to be diving into more of things that I believe that'll help you. Sometimes I will be bringing on my husband as well and talking about building a business with your husband. What does that look like? How's that affect your relationship? A lot of times we have a lot of questions about that. But next week we're going to dive into six figures, how to create six figures, how to keep six figures in your business. A lot of women want to actually hit that. And we're going to talk exactly how I did it, how I do it, how I continue to do it. No BS. So thank you so much, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you next time.